Welcome to Grounded Spirits Podcast, where we dream and garden ourselves to our highest timeline. I'm your host, Laura Lynn, and today we're talking about the magician. So, I had filmed this beautiful intro where I was talking about my dress and how I hemmed it and how this is part of the spirit part of Grounded Spirits, because when we look good and we feel good and we're able to style and dress ourselves the way that we're going to feel most confident, um, that's how we get to our highest timeline. And so I did a whole thing with that. And then I also was talking about how Maricielo is in the background. So this is the tree that I talked about last time. So this time I'm the one that's looking at the river and the Hollywood Hills, and you're looking at this beautiful tree. It's also super incredible that there's happened to be a table here at this time. So like, what are the chances, what are the odds? And here I'm showing you my new star tarot deck and how beautiful it is. Like, look at that. But what's also so cool about the star tarot, as I was explaining, that you can't hear because the mic didn't pick up. I used, as you can see in the corner, I used Riverside, and it wasn't letting me connect the mic, so I thought, oh, it is connected, you know? It wasn't, so it gets a little better later because I bring the camera closer, but that's why I'm doing this voiceover right now. But anyway, so with the Star Tarot, it's perfect for us here at Grounded Spirits because we're all trying to become stars. We all want to shine our light as bright as we can. We want to be ourselves, we want to be authentic. And I think this goes across the board. I think everybody has this dream and this hope. It's just a matter of getting it out and remaining grounded, because sometimes we become too star-like, and then you hear well, like Morgan Wallen for one, has a lot of songs that's like when he talks about like, I thought like being famous was going to like solve all my problems, and then it didn't. And so it's like not what you expect, and I feel like that only happens if you don't have these strong roots. And so that's what we're going to be exploring here today, how to create these strong roots through gardening and still have our dreams reach new heights. All right, so now she's going to talking about myself, talk about the magician card of the tarot deck, and there are more to come. So this is what it looks like. There's so much to talk about with it. So um, let's see. Let me tell you about the summer part first. So summer. Oh, so I saw at Disney, which is right here down the street. They put out this thing. It was like the princess of spring, or like the goddess of spring is what it was called. And it's a story of Hades and Persephone, where he takes her down to the underworld, and then she's there 6 months out of the year. Then she comes back up, and it's supposed to be like the seasons. Um, and so when he comes up, it's like this fire, and he takes her, and he's this bad guy. But as a double fire sign, I always felt like my fire was so bad. And only recently am I realizing that it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. And even like today, like people are so happy that the sun's just staying out longer today than other days. And it all just goes to show like it's about using your powers for good. That everybody has these powers, and it's about figuring out how to use them better. So like people who are manipulators, like those are good skills. You're just using it in a bad way. So like, how do you use this skill of manipulation to do good? And I really feel like that's like what these magician cards are getting at. Like we have these gifts. Um, like you can even see it on this card. We have like he has all his tools Like, we've been collecting these gifts, or these gifts have been given to us, have been gifted to us. And so we have them all out on the table. And so it's like, now what are we going to do with them? And I think that that is perfect here in summer, here talking about it on the first day of summer, because summer is a time to get out your gifts, right? So we start off with Cancer. Cancer is like testing the waters, you know, it's the crab coming up to the shore, having the skills to be able to do that. I think that the Magician here in the tarot deck is also about bridging the worlds, the spiritual with the physical. And I kind of feel like that's what Cancer does. The crab comes out from the depths of the sea onto land, and really bridging these two things. Like, it shouldn't be able to, you know, it should be impossible for a fish to get out of the sea, but here, and I think the same thing goes for us. You know, like, we can bridge these two parts of ourselves that we think are so different, but they're actually the same. And I put in these braids today, or I braided my hair, and like, here's like the blue part and the red part. So you would think that these are completely opposite, that my fire and my water, my Scorpio midheaven, that they are opposite, but they're actually together. They're coming together in me. And yeah, so it's about like making this bridge. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go on to the next one, but let's actually see what the book says about the Magician, and we'll go from there. If you're watching this live right now, I'm going to read this. So it's going to take a while. Or maybe I should read out loud. That's too much to read. I'm not reading. So maybe you could think about, like, if you were the Magician, what would you change? Like, if you woke up right now and like, this is the life that you walked into, would you thank the people? Would you not thank the people who put this together? You have to start thinking of yourself as not yourself. Like, you have to think of yourself as like a network of selves, where it's not you that has to do everything. It's, okay, I'm only working on this part. Like, right now, me, I'm only focusing on recording for Grounded Spirits right now. I'm not thinking of the million other things that I have to do, because that's a future Laura's problem. That's not me. I just have to record this and I'm good. And that's how we have to see it, that it's not just me with all of these responsibilities. It's a network of me's, and then I'm here just to facilitate for the next. So I really want to film this whole episode without cutting, without editing it, because the last one was so choppy, it was so cut up, but there was just so much that it could not go. I had to cut it. And so that's what my job is here right now, is trying to allow future Laura to not have to cut so much out. That's why it took so long. Like, I was literally editing this thing day and night for weeks. And yeah, I just think that's ridiculous. The whole point of Grounded Spirits is to be able to share my thoughts. So yeah, here we are. So yeah, so think about like what past you has done. Like, be thankful for what past you has done to get you to this point, and then think future you, or think of future you and like, what could I do right now to help future me? This is so cool. So the Magician, it says, embodies the elements of air and fire. This is air. This is fire. This is my Aquarius rising, and it's on my right side. So it's like my masculine side, my divine masculine is Aquarius. He's like a nerd that could just like work for days, and he loves it. He loves just sitting around and allowing his mind, he like can create stuff like through online. Like, he likes making websites and stuff. This is so funny to like talk about myself in these different ways that I didn't even realize that I knew so much about. But this is what I mean about like tapping in and like asking why and like figuring out, because then you'll see that it's not you making all these decisions. It's a council of you making these decisions. So yes, like the past yous and the future yous, but then there's also every single cell in your being has a thought, has a say, wants a say, and it's about listening. Yeah. Okay, so embodies the elements of air and fire coming together. So this is my Leo Sun and Sagittarius Moon and North Node. Well, with Leo too, I have so much fire, you guys. Like Leo Mercury, Leo Chiron. There's a lot. Okay. His number is 1. 1 represents new stars, new beginnings, and planting seeds. Here we are talking about gardening already. That's so cool. And like with the magician, you could think about it like in your dreams, like how are you a magician in your dreams? One time and I've talked about this on the show before, where I was actually able to shoot fireballs from my hands in a dream. And I really believe that dreams are how we learn our spiritual gifts. And similarly, I think it's through nature, through the trees, through the plants, through smoking weed, that we're able to learn and to grow. So it's like what I was saying earlier, how it's the spiritual realm with the earth realm coming together. So spiritual with the physical, and that's what you are when you are the magician. You're bridging these two, and yeah, just bringing your essence into existence. And I feel like that's what you need to do if you want to, not an if, we all want to be happy. So in order to be happy, you have to be willing to do these things, because some part of you wants you to do it. So just do it. Okay, so you could see that there's like the 4, like the different arcanas. They represent the 4 elements. And it's saying that you need to be using the 4 elements every single day. Let me actually read it for you. It says, he uses these tools in his daily experiences, constantly adjusting, balancing, and refining each potential, measuring how they will unfold in his life. Oh, and then I don't know where I picked up this tip, but the tip was to, when you have 2 choices and you don't know what to do, literally envision yourself in each of them and see what you feel, not what you think will be good or look good, but how do you feel? And that's how, like, you can literally like transport yourself into those different timelines. And so that's kind of like what he's saying here, like you're trying to refine each potential, measuring how they will unfold in your life. Like, do I want to proceed in this manner or in that manner? The more he exercises this act, the more he trusts his choices. So like the more choices that you make, the more that you're trusting yourself and know that you are making the right choices for you, even if they don't align with other people's. And at the end of the day, that's how you become the magician. That's how you create life that you want, because if you don't know what you want, how is the universe going to know what to give to you, you know? So it really is about making choices, because at the end of the day, that's what your life is, just a never-ending stream of choices. And it should be fun to make choices. It shouldn't be a chore. So how do we make it more fun? We get to learn more and know more about ourselves and know more about the world. The magician acts like a conduit, tapping into the universal forces of inspiration, wonder, and imagination. When he receives the seed, of an intention or inspiration, he works out his plan internally with a focused clarity. Again, it's all internal. And then that's how it's able to manifest into the physical world. He then puts it into action with confidence and will. The intention is then transformed into reality. So people always ask, like, well, how do I become more confident? It's about trusting yourself. My other show is called the Radio, and on it, I actually have guests on it, some solo like this one. And I've started to name the episodes based on what the person trusts. And the whole show is designed to ask the question, how do we know what we know? And how do we know what is real knowledge? Is it based off our intuition? Is it based off our intellect, our reason? Or like a mixture of two? And it really does come down to trust. Am I going to trust this source with this knowledge? And then that's how I believe it. And so, like I said, I've been naming them. It's just interesting, like what we actually trust in. But at the end of the day, we should only be trusting in ourselves. The magician does not hold on to his inspired creative force. He processes it and releases it into his world like a lightning rod. So he just lets the energy flow through him. He's not forcing anything. He's just being himself and just allowing it to go through. I'm part of this religion. I say it like that because no one's ever heard of it. You've never heard of it. But I really like what they stand for. And yeah, I like it a lot. Anyway, so it's called Happy Science. And with Happy Science, God, another name for God is Alcantara. And there's this whole way of using your hands to summon this energy. And it's beautiful, beautiful energy. And you put your arms out. And the ambulance alarm just came on, so maybe I'm not supposed to be sharing the whole process. But so the point is that you feel Alcantara, and for some reason he popped into my head right now with the lightning rod. And so with Alcantara, when you ask for this Alcantara's love and energy, you feel it. You feel like you're just like a lightning rod, like just transmitting that energy to then be able to heal whoever it is. I do Reiki, so whoever it is that I'm healing, sometimes I'll ask for Alcantara, or to myself. And yeah, it's just really beautiful to allow yourself to just be a conduit. Then that's how it goes with my whole saying of stop trying and just be. When you just get to be, you just get to have fun. You just get to live and love your life. And so it says it here too, like when you allow like the creativity to just flow through you, not only does it help you on an individual level, it helps the collective. So everybody benefits from you allowing yourself to go into this state. I guess it is kind of like the avatar state, where like you stop overthinking, you just allow yourself to be in, and that's like where the real power comes from. As you practice the creative process of the magician, you become more connected to your inner self and the universal forces creating for the good of all. That's so beautiful, because that's literally what Grounded Spirit stands for, you know? Like, we're working on ourselves individually to then help out everybody else. Yeah. It's cool. I feel like that's like the point of self-actualization, too. It's everything that I'm saying. He's so cool. The magician prompts you to create consciously with the light of love in your heart. Claim your power. Open your communication between spirit and matter. Feel the force and strength that flashes like a shooting star of inspiration. Communicate your intentions clearly. If you actually tell the universe what you want, you will receive. You just have to be so clear on what it is that you want. Everybody wants more money, right? But like, why do you want it? What do you want to feel with it? You don't want to have worries, you could just go down this whole thing and then, okay, why do I feel this way? What does it mean? Go deeper and go deeper and go deeper. Then that's how you get clarity. That's how you get confidence. Direct it to the world and let it blossom into its full potential. Stretch your wand up towards the heavens. Be the inspired conduit and set your intentions and manifest your dreams. Back to the dreams. So yes, by being so grounded, then that's how we can shoot up, or it's by being so close to spirit that we can shoot down and bring it into the world and get grounded in our physical reality. So cool. Okay, on the magician's chest is Caduceus, one of Mercury's sacred symbols. Oh, okay, so it's the wand with the two snakes. So it's creating like opposing forces in balance, so like you're balanced with this. Yeah, so it's just about like being balanced. You have the yin and yang symbols on here at the bottom. You have 10 stars at the top, representing continuous cycles of completion and another beginning. So it's like you're entering a new chapter. And I feel like that's like what it is about summer. I never finished. So I talked about Cancer. So then we have Leo. And Leo is the fire within the heart, and that passion, that confidence, the need for dramatics, but it's not even in a bad way. It's in a way to like be more fun and to be able to be more expressive and like bring yourself out. That's what Leo is. I forgot July. Oh no, that's it, right? June. Yeah, we're here in Cancer. And then it goes to Leo, and then after Leo is Virgo, and Virgo is no longer summer. Well, technically, because yeah, technically because then the solstice hits and then it's Libra. So I guess we'll include Virgo. Virgo is about like perfection. It's about allowing your true self to come out and loving yourself unconditionally anyway. It's about allowing yourself to digest who you truly are, digesting your shadows. Ooh, yeah, I see that with Virgo. That's why they're so over analytical, and they want like all the details. They want to make sure they don't miss any of the shadows, and they really digest it. And that's why Virgo rules the bowels and the digestive system. Okay. So the magician also has smoke around it. Ooh, yeah, you can see it all the way around the card. The smoke. And this is to say, like, if action, which is air, and fire, which is passion, are not in balance, one is not able to see through the trickery of the smoke. And so that's why it represents like illusion or delusion, like actual like magicians, like sleight of hand or like focusing your attention on something else so that they could change, so they could do something else. So that is a good tip. That's why it's so important to be so balanced with everything. And I feel like the fact that I got both of them here today is so cool that they actually feel balanced. I don't feel like the competition within myself like I used to. The magician is also associated with the crown chakra, which is cool because I have been seeing a lot of purple. I even have purple eyeshadow on today. And just seeing a lot of like crown chakra stuff. Normally when I put shampoo on, I just like slather it on there, right? But today it was more of like this deep massage. And like really doing it like for the pleasure of it, not just like for the cleanliness. You can kind of see I just got a new bag that's purple. And I love it because before I had like 20 different bags and now I could just have the one. It is heavy, but it's all together. And then even like the sex cards, I've said I've had these for a while, but they never wanted to come till today. And like, look at the color. Even my car is this color. So at first I thought it was a lot of like root chakra stuff because it was a lot of red. But now I'm seeing that it's more of like a magenta. So I think it's like going through my root chakra to get up to my crown. So it's like really cool how energy moves throughout our bodies. And then Mercury, we've already kind of talked about Mercury, about the snakes going around, but the Magician is associated with Mercury, and I have been trying to work on my Mercury because I don't know why all of a sudden it became all about me, but it's all about me. It's my show. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, so the problem with me is that my Mercury, it's in Leo, but it's like trapped in the 6th house when Leo rules the 7th house in my chart. And so it's like trapped in this like layer of water with Cancer. And Leo, obviously the fire, it feels like it's drowning, where I feel like I can't talk if I'm like myself. Like I will literally drown, it feels. So before I used to be a really good talker, I was a great public speaker. Because I disassociated, that Aquarius rising, I disassociated where I was like, it's not me, so I don't care what people think or what people say because that's not me. But now that like my authenticity is here and it is me out here on the line, like my name's on it and everything, it's different. And so it's been really hard to unblock this throat chakra. But whole point to say is that like now I'm here in this era of the Magician card, and the fact that it's associated with Mercury, it's like all really aligned. All right, so that was the first one. But here's another tip: to see your life like as if you're the producer, or like you're the star and the producer. So like I'll set myself up for stuff as a producer, and then I get to go in and be the star. So like I'm doing it for myself. So that's been pretty fun. Huh. I'm so dumb. It's literally on the thing. So here's the card. And so again, on the table, they have his 4 tools. The infinity represents like the infinite amount of knowledge or love and wisdom that spirit can give. So it's like through the crown chakra. He also has his 2 hands going in opposite directions. That's so cool with the roses because I have been getting a lot of roses recently. I graduated from my hula school on Saturday, and it was so cool. My mom got me these red roses, and even I actually wore this dress, and she gave me these red rose earrings that now I wish I had. But it was just so cool because during hula camp it was a pink rose, pink rose, pink rose, and so now it's like I'm like growing and maturing. I'm becoming a woman, and it's cool that they're now on here. The Magician, I do think it's like a second puberty where it's like you no longer see the world, like you don't see yourself as the victim anymore. Like you just feel so in control and so trusting that anything that comes up is here for a reason, and we're going to get through. We're going to move on. And so it's like really cool to experience life like that. Down here, you see the Datura plant, and if you remember from our plant magic series a while back, so I was explaining the Datura plant as the card flew away, and I thought that I was mic'd, so that's why it got cut out. But anyway, the Datura plant is one that allows you to ask a question and actually seek guidance. And I learned a lot of what I know from the Datura plant from that plant magic book, but also from Carlos Castaneda, and that's what I'm going to talk about next. Which actually brings me to my next bit. So in Carlos Castaneda, he talks about the difference between a tonal and a nahual. And he says that a tonal is everything that's on this table. First of all, it's so cool there's a table here because there's never been a table here, and I feel like I manifested it again with the magician, you know? Let me bring this down a little bit. So, here's my table, and so everything that's on this table is something else, something different, right? So let's actually do it, you know? Let's actually bring in the 4 subjects. Here are all my cards, and then we'll do this. So I have some water. This can represent fire, my cards. That's passion. Water, obviously water. Air will be like my magic sword. And then earth will be like the physical world. So I'll have like my film case. So we're talking about Carlos Castaneda. The tonal is everything that's on your island, is what he calls it, like on your table. So everything that's associated with fire, with water, with air, with earth, everything that's associated with it. If you don't know what is associated with it, you can go check out the Arnellian Framework. It's a new book that's coming out, but I have a chart out that I've been talking about it on here on Garden Spirits for a while too. Where I've literally connected everything to the 4 basic elements, like every single academic subject, every single part of yourself, like the part of you that fights you to go to the bathroom or to eat or to turn left when you want to go right, you know, like this part that fights you, can literally, I've mapped it out. And it's all related here. And so everything that we know, everything that we can see, touch, feel is here on the tonal. Now, what we're doing by becoming gardeners, what we're doing to self-actualize by gardening and dreaming is we're seeing what's under the table. Down here, let's actually swoop you down. Down here, this is the nahual. So down here, the nahual is everything that's unknown. This is what Carl Jung's talking about, what Sigmund Freud's talking about. Like, what is under here? This is the subconscious, the unconscious. Everything that we do not know is here. So what is down here? Down here is spirituality. We could tap into that with intuition. Plants naturally tap into this. Animals naturally tap into this space. And then when you're on drugs, you tap into this space. And so that's what we're doing here. We're looking at everything that's under here, the nahual. So let's do an activity.
So the activity that gets cut out and really choppy because I walk away is doing energy on yourself. And I'm talking about how you really feel like the magician because you're bringing in this new sense that comes from spirit, but it's within your own body. So it's very grounded. Um, and it's about remembering that we are magicians. Like, being human, you have these innate magical gifts that we don't know about, so we don't develop them. And yeah, so this is what we're going to do.
So you just kind of have to feel. So you have to move your arms like this, and you start it here in your gut. So what Carlos Castaneda says is, in dreaming, this is your eyeball, your belly button. This is what you see when you're in dreaming. You don't see up here. This doesn't exist. Like, your head is not there. It's just your body, and it's in your solar plexus. He literally uses the word solar plexus. It's so cool. So this is where you start. And you just kind of feel it, and you kind of bring it up a little, and you can start to feel it kind of like dissipate on the sides. And so you just kind of hold it together. And then sometimes, if your heart's blocked or it's not fully open, like mine was shut up for years, it's barely starting to open now. It's kind of hard to get it in there, but it kind of feels like a water balloon filling up. And so you just kind of pull it up. If you're driving and you can't see me right now, you just kind of, it's like if you had yarn around your hands and you're just moving them in a circle, but like trying to like pull up by your hands. And it sounds weird. It sounds weird. But if you try it and you start to feel it, and that's how we know what's real, is when we actually feel it. So it's like, okay, how can I make you feel something, but without having to hurt you? I don't want to hurt you. I want to have you feel this so that you know that it's true. And that's it. Um, and then you can do with it what you will, you know? Because the whole point is that you trust that someone is self-actualized. Then you know they're going to make the right decision. Like how we were learning in the star card, the star deck, the magician, that the more that you make decisions, the more you trust yourself, the more confident you are.
And so you can see me like take off the mask of like the energy around my face, around my body. And it's really just an intuitive thing that like once you start feeling this energy that's around you, you can start to move it to where it belongs, or you can give it to the plants or give it to another person. The energy can't be created or destroyed, it can just be moved. And I think that that's what we really get into here about being grounded in your body while still working with this spirit that is you. Carlos Castaneda also goes into this, and Don Juan talks about using your hand to like push away illness, and he talks about using his hand the same way. So, next up, we're talking about the Sex Tarot deck. And what's beautiful about sex is that it's also a grounded spirited act where you have to be grounded in your body. You can't be in your mind, you can't be in your head and overthink it, because then you're not in the present moment, and it kind of just kills the vibe, you know? But it's also very spirited because it's your spirit interacting with somebody else's. It's that space of vulnerability. And it's really beautiful when you are creating this union between these two spirits. And if you didn't, here I am going to show you the card. But if you want it to, you can pause it or go on to Instagram or thearnellian.com/grounded spirits to see the card closer. But on it is the Mars and the Venus sign. So again, it's like this yin and yang, these two separate energies coming together through this sexual act. And yeah, it's just really beautiful to see sex in a beautiful way instead of being ashamed of it. And yeah, and then also on this card, he has the four elements, or the four different tools on his table. So again, like with a tonal, using these four different elements to balance your own self out.
Turns out your body's goals are different than your mind's goals, which are different than your soul's goals, which are different than your spirit's goals. So really like think about each of them and what they actually want. I get into this a little bit with my book. I didn't bring it today. Um, it's called The Luxury of Balance, where I look at these different parts of the self and help you reorganize so that you can hit all of these different goals. Um, so yeah, so that has been pretty helpful. I guess just some more things about dreaming. I came across this post that said like I don't even want to be rich. I just want everybody to like be good. You know, it's like not being this scarcity. But it's like if you think that that is like such a high bar, then like we have to we in order to like lower the bar so that it's actually achievable, so that everybody can have that, we need to shoot higher. If we shoot up higher, then it'll be easy for this to occur.
So yeah, just listen to your dreams. They're here to guide you, to show you the way, and to really work things out, things that are bubbling up that you might not even be aware of. Your dreams will show you the way. And it's also a place where you can be your true, authentic self, or things that you can't share in the real world, you can share it in your dream world, and then um, build that confidence in the dream world so that you can do it in the physical world. So, yeah, that is all that I have for you today. So, thank you so much for being here. Let me know your experience in this space of being the magician, of bridging these two worlds together, the physical and the spiritual, the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, bridging everything together. And yeah, just let me know what your experience is. Don't forget to check out the website. I put all of the resources, everything that I talked about today will go on there, as well as more. So, like more journal prompts or more affirmations. So, yeah, thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.